Today, we're jumping into a really powerful framework that promises a true 360-degree view of your organization's performance. It's called the Balanced Scorecard. Let's get right into it. I know, that's a pretty bold statement to kick things off. But what if I told you that the very document you pour hours into, the one that steers bonuses and strategy, is actually pointing your business in the wrong direction? So why would I say that? I mean, how can the numbers, the hard data from our financial reports, be so misleading when it comes to figuring out what's coming next? Well, to get to the bottom of that, we have to talk about a super common pitfall I call the financials-only trap. It's this dangerous, almost magnetic pull of relying only on financial data to steer the ship. Okay, so here's the core of the problem. Financial metrics like revenue and profit, they're what we call lagging indicators. Think of them as a perfect, crystal-clear photo of the past, but they tell you almost nothing about what's ahead. It's literally like trying to drive a car forward by only looking in the rearview mirror. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The guys who actually invented the Balanced Scorecard, Robert Kaplan and David Norton, they absolutely nailed it. That old way of measuring was fine for an economy built on factories. But in today's world, where value comes from ideas, from happy customers, and from talented people, looking in that rearview mirror is a recipe for disaster. And that, thankfully, brings us to the solution. A framework that's actually designed to give you that forward-looking view, a more complete and, you guessed it, a much more balanced picture of what's really happening. So the Balanced Scorecard, or BSC for short, isn't just another report to fill out. Think of it more like a strategic map. It's the tool that translates your big, ambitious vision into concrete, everyday actions and measures. It connects what your team does every single day directly to your long-term goals. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes it tick? Well, it's all built on 4 essential perspectives, 4 lenses that, when you put them all together, give you that complete, balanced picture of your strategy in action. The entire framework is built to answer these 4 crucial questions. And notice, we're not throwing out the financials, not at all. We're just making them richer, giving them context, with the perspective of your customers, the health of your internal operations, and your ability to innovate for the future. First up, the financial lens. This is the one we all know, right? The traditional bottom line. And it's still critically important. It answers the question, how do we look to our shareholders? This is the destination, profitability, growth, all that good stuff. But how do you actually reach that destination? Well, you get there through your customers. So the customer perspective asks, how do they see us? This is where we track things like satisfaction and loyalty. Because let's be real, you can't have long-term financial success without creating and keeping happy customers. It's just not possible. So how do you keep those customers happy? That brings us to the third lens, internal processes. This is where we look inward and ask, what must we be absolutely great at? You know, to deliver amazing value, your operations have to be top-notch. This is where you measure the quality, speed, and efficiency of the work that actually creates your product or service. And finally, we get to the foundation of it all, learning and growth. This perspective asks the big question, how can we keep getting better and innovating? This is all about your people, your technology, your culture. This is the engine that drives everything else, making sure you can adapt and thrive tomorrow, not just survive today. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. These 4 perspectives aren't just some random checklist. No, they actually link together to tell a powerful, logical story about how your organization creates value from the ground up. And that whole story is told through an incredibly powerful tool called a strategy map. It's a simple but brilliant graphic that visually lays out the cause and effect chain across all 4 perspectives. It makes your strategy so clear and intuitive that anyone can understand it. And this right here is the magic. The story flows from the bottom up. See how it works? When you invest in your team's skills under learning and growth, you directly improve your internal processes. Better processes lead to happier customers, which, in turn, drives superior financial performance. For the first time, you can draw a straight line from employee training all the way to shareholder returns. It's a total game changer. Okay, so this sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually put this powerful framework into practice? Because this isn't just a neat theory. It's a real disciplined management system. Well, implementation follows a really clear path. You start by translating your big vision into specific objectives for each of the 4 perspectives. Then you pick the right key performance indicators, or KPIs, those specific, measurable numbers that tell you if you're actually winning. From there, it's all about creating action plans, making sure the whole organization is on the same page, and then constantly reviewing your progress. Here's a simple example of how this all clicks together. Just look at that bottom row. The objective is to strengthen employees' skills. The KPI to measure that is training hours. The target is 40 hours a year, and the initiative is to build a new training academy. That single initiative, that's the first domino in a chain that leads directly to better processes, happier customers, and ultimately higher profitability. See, it all connects. So when you put it all together, the benefits are just huge. The Balanced Scorecard aligns everyone's day-to-day work with the big picture strategy. It gives your whole company a shared language to talk about performance, a true 360-degree view of the business, and it brilliantly balances that constant pressure for short-term results with the critical need to build long-term value. Which brings us to our final and, honestly, most important takeaway. Think of this as a call to action. Seriously, stop managing your organization by looking in the rearview mirror. Your financial reports tell a story about the road you've already traveled. It's time to shift your focus to the windshield, to the leading indicators of your people, your processes, and your customers that are actively creating your future right now. By adopting a balanced view, you're no longer just reporting on performance. You are actively designing your success. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you ready to stop measuring the past and start building the future?